What it do, Niner fam? Like, share, subscribe, man. Let's run them numbers up. But I know you're wondering why you got Alex Smith on here. You feel me? The old school Niner. Well, he'll be eligible for the Hall of Fame. I think the next Hall of Fame, not this one. How do you, as a Niner, how do you guys feel about that? Alex Smith becoming eligible for the Hall of Fame. Does he deserve the Hall of Fame? Okay, it's just a question. Does he deserve the Hall of Fame? Does he even deserve to be mentioned with the Hall of Famers? Now, don't get me wrong. I like Alex Smith. I remember when he first got drafted, and I remember all the years, Let me explain something to you, man. A diehard Niner. They not like us. Alex Smith used to play so bad. I'm in the stands booing him because some of the stuff did not make no sense. And I understand. He got drafted, went to the Niners. And, when you get that first one overall pick, it ain't because you're really good. You know what I'm saying? Your team you need that. Now, the problem later on I seen what Alex Smith had was, he'll even tell you, the confidence level. The confidence level. And really, that's what Harbaugh brought to him. Because everybody else was, they had it basically hanging over his head like, hey, man, you was a first-round pick, first overall pick. And so they just expected stuff from him. And he was doubting himself. Harbaugh came near, cleared all that up. And you see what happened. 1 year NFC Championship. But it was some good time. It was some good times with Alex Smith. It wasn't always all bad. Now, yeah, we wasn't making back-to-back NFC championships and Super Bowls and everything else with Alex Smith, but now he had some good games. It was some good games he played. And when you seen Alex Smith play, he was trying. He was trying his best. He doing what he can. But it was mental. He went through so many head coaches and offensive coordinators because he was getting people fired. The records were bad. He was getting people fired. It's like, okay, we don't win these many games, or the coach come in and they don't win these many games, or we lose by this much. The coach getting fired, or he on the hot seat. And then every coach come in, they thinking, okay, well, I can work with him. I could work with him. Harbaugh came in and he actually did it. So, what do you guys think? Does he deserve to even be mentioned in the Hall of Fame? Because you got to remember his last couple of years, that's the Alex Smith we wanted to see. Now, look at that. See, I'm old school. I'm from the generation where these rookies sat on the bench for a year or two. And then they came out and did what they were supposed to do. Now they just throw them in there. They don't care. They just throw them in there. Now it's just sink or swim. If you not a quarterback, NFL ready, where you literally getting on the field and handling your business, all that being indecisive and I just came from college, they don't want to hear that. They're spending too much money on you. That's why you have people like the Colts, Anthony Richardson. Look at him. Was that 1 year? Was that last year? He was tired. He tapped out and said, "Coach, I need a break." They was looking at him like, "What? What? What do you mean you need a break? You're tired." The whole O-line is tired, man. Get back in there. But they made him sit on the bench. You can go down the line. It's a bunch of they just throwing the rookies out there as far as quarterbacks and just expecting them to learn. Now, yeah, everybody expecting everybody to be like Jayden Daniels. But at the end of the day, we're going to see what Jayden Daniels is about because, like I said, remember, they had that last place schedule. And he was able to win a lot of games. Remember, a Hail Mary to the Bears. And some people from the Commanders is like, oh, no, we planned that. And you don't plan just a Hail Mary and it bounces off. That's not planned. So when you have games like that, Jayden Daniels, hey, you got to where you're supposed to get to. But when he played a legit team, he got smashed. Okay, now this time they have a first place schedule. Let's see. Okay, let's see. So, and it's a few of them out there like that. It's rare. What happens is if you watched the Hall of Fame game, with Trey Lance. You seen him. He looked at like a different Trey Lance. Well, he's not a rookie no more. I mean, he's had years to sit on the bench, reflect, practice, hone his craft. He didn't really play too much in college. Now he gets to Harbaugh. He plays one preseason game and he looks like a traditional NFL quarterback. Whereas if Purdy coming off the bench, and he automatically looked like a traditional quarterback. See, some have it, some don't. Okay. Now, the reason I bring up all that is because Alex Smith, like I said, he should have rolled the bench for him. And now he rolled the bench a few times because they used to bench him. They used to bench him a gang of time. Just bench him, just bench him. That's why he went through so many coaches, so many different offensive coordinators. He was just getting benched all the time. Or he getting injured. Or he's injured and he's trying to come back to show that he's tough. That's what was going on with Alex Smith. So, what I look at now is, does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame or even in the mentions of Hall of Fame? Now when he went to the Chiefs, when he went to the Chiefs, you got to remember, when we got Kaepernick, when the Niners had, well, we didn't get him. Kaepernick had been on the team. He wasn't no rookie when he first started. When Kaepernick started, because Alex Smith got injured, and the trajectory was, we going to Super Bowl. That next year, we really didn't need Alex Smith. But Harbaugh was like, I'm not just going to put you someplace where it's going to be all bad. Andy Reid said, I've been liking Alex Smith. I want him. This Andy Reid. So we had a trade. It was, we traded Alex Smith, and we had a wide receiver, Kyle Williams, something like that. He never got to play because we had a first round pick wide receiver, but we was always picking last because we was always going to NFC championships or Super Bowls. We already had so many veteran wide receivers. You got to remember, we had Randy Moss and Michael Crabtree and Delaney Walker and Vernon Davis and Frank Gore and LaMichael James and Kendall Hunter. We already had a plethora of people who can catch the ball. So the wide receiver we had, he never really had no chance to play. And so he wasn't that good. I can't remember. I think it was Kyle Williams. I'm not sure. Because we had Kyle Williams on defense, but I think he was one on the offense too. And we put a package together and traded Alex Smith and him to the Chiefs. And they gave us that defensive end. They gave us a defensive end. I forgot what his name. The Chiefs gave us a defensive end, which he was balling. It was like a package thing. You feel me? And so, what I seen was, I think that was it. I think that's how it went. Because it was a package. We sent him over there. Was it for the defensive end or was it for offensive lineman? I'm not sure. But I know we traded to the Chiefs because Andy Reid wanted him. And we didn't have no use for him because we already had Kaepernick. And so when he went over there to the Chiefs, he was going to the playoffs almost every year. He was going to the playoffs almost every year. Now, confidence, he was older. Man. Now, he was a real dink and dunk. He wasn't really going down the field like that. Nope, he would carve you up. And he wasn't making big mistakes. That's why when Mahomes came in there and started throwing the ball all over the place, they was like, this is our guy. And then, remember, Alex Smith got that leg injury that kind of tore him up. You know what I'm saying? It was his I don't know, something wrong with it, something. But he was done, his career was done. So the reason I say all that is, do you think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame mentions? Because, like I said, with 1 year with the Niners, I think 1.5 years with the Niners, and then the rest of the time with the Chiefs was a couple years, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, man. Leave it in the comments. Leave it in the comments, and let me know. Like, share, subscribe. Peace. I'm out of here.